The confirmation of the previous minutes, is that what we're doing? We're not doing that now, see? They come via other things. Okay, thank you. So we have a deputation from a whole lot of people on the Songpa visit. So welcome forward, everyone who's going to do talking. Phil, are you starting this? Once you get past Ali? And Ellie's doing the slideshow.
It's one I prepared earlier.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome.
I was going to introduce my gorgeous assistant, Ellie Jones, but I think you might know her already. My name's Phil Tappend, and I'm the chairman of the Songpa Christchurch Sister City Committee. And it was my pleasure to be part of a trip that went to Songpa in September to recognise the signing, the 20th anniversary of the signing of the Sister City Agreement, which I believe was led by you, Deputy Mayor Buck.
God, it's terrible how your past catches up, isn't it?
Isn't it? At the same time, Councillor Jones, assisted by Sue McFarlane, went and visited the embassy and did some civic work there. We have a little slideshow that's been worked on, so I think perhaps if you can forgive the first slide, it shows how small the room that I was standing in is.
The word missing is Songpa Children's Library, all right? So that's the word that fell off. Here we go.
Very good.
It's all Ellie's work, which is amazing. There are a number of people who joined the delegation to Songpa, including Ngā Manu Atane, the Kapahaka group who performed with a Korean dancer, Song Yi Kim, and if you were lucky enough to be at Korean Day last year, you would have seen a similar performance. Absolutely stunning. There are a number of Christchurch educators who attended the COEX Study Abroad Fair in Seoul and the Education New Zealand events, the workshop and alumni reception. And there were two groups representing schools. There was a Horsville school group and the global student tour to China and Korea, which consisted of students from Casebrook and Cobham. Jo Kim, who's a local Korean she's the Vice President of the Christchurch Korean Society, was also there representing the Korean Society. So all in all, there were 58 people from Christchurch went to Songpa over the period of the Bakjay Festival. The first 3 days, Councillor Jones and Sue McFarlane went to launch events for the New Zealand Festival and for the festival in Korea. We met the ambassador, and one of her key messages was that Songpa is not far from China or Japan, so if any delegations are heading over there, they would love to see more New Zealand input into the Korean market. Then for 4.5 days we were hosted in Songpa. Following the success of Mayor Park's visit last November to Christchurch, they regard Christchurch as Songpa's best sister city, and the warmth of the welcome that was given to Councillor Jones and the group was beyond anything I've ever seen in my work with Korea. They're very keen to enhance sister city relationships further. They're very keen to work with the City Council and with the Sister City Committee, and I would like to recommend that that's something that we continue to look at. I'd like to introduce a number of people who will come up and speak very quickly. I'm speaking very quickly, I know my time is limited. The first one is Whetu Moatane from Ngā Manu Atane, the Kapahaka group who represented Christchurch. Whetu.
Perhaps you can start off by telling us where that was.
Kia ora tātou, Whetu Moatane, Ngā Manu Atane. So that was our first performance for the New Zealand Embassy. It was to open the New Zealand Festival with a hāngi dinner. The idea behind that particular performance or that particular event was to showcase New Zealand to the media. So it was just more media presence, and we had this famous actress, Korean actress, that came along, and to be part of partaking in a hāngi dinner. You would have seen in Ellie's photos before, the media went wild, and our photos and video clips of us just went worldwide within minutes. And it was a showcased New Zealand really, really good. So we were lucky to be part of that. So Ngā Manu Atane, one of the senior kapahaka groups of Christchurch. And just firstly like to thank the Korean Committee, Christchurch City Council, the Mayor and Councillor Jones for letting us come along. We really, really enjoyed it. Beneficial for us as a group as well. It was our first international trip as a group, and to be able to have the opportunity to share our culture and our performances with our newfound whānau in Korea was awesome. And just like to thank you all for that opportunity. And we also look forward to a long-term relationship with the City Council and the Korean Committee. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
And if I could just add to that, they were an absolute hit, and they were fantastic representatives for Christchurch and New Zealand, and it was a pleasure to be associated with them. When you performed on the Bakjay Festival in front of probably 6,000 to 8,000 people, there were people with tears in their eyes when they brought out the Korean and Kiwi flag at the end together. It was an amazing performance, absolutely amazing, so thank you. One of the other things that we were going for, of course, was to look at education and educational relationships. And so we have two people here who represent two different sectors. The first is Carl Everett, who's the International Director of Christchurch Boys High School, and secondly, Beth Knowles, the International Director of CPIT. So I wonder if...
Thanks, Phil. Very happy to be here. I'm Carl Everett, so from Christchurch Boys High School. I'm a board member of Christchurch Educated and on the New Zealand Schools Reference Group, and a proud resident of New Brighton. I just had to put that plug in. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Dave. Yeah. So we decided about a year ago that a group of us here in Christchurch would focus on career and primary, secondary and tertiary, a group that were really focused on trying to get things going again in career and education. We're meeting regularly, and we decided to go along with this delegation, and which coincided with the Co-Eds Fair in Seoul and the ENZ events. And try and figure out why there'd been a decline in student numbers. Some of the things we talked about were the fact that the experience in Christchurch at the moment as we rebuild it's difficult to emulate that you get in some of the bigger cities such as Auckland, and the experience includes the Korean mothers who often come with the students, so they need to have a good experience while they're here in Christchurch, and that's a really key aspect of it. So we were looking at how the tertiaries and the secondaries could link together to try and promote the experience for both. We also talked about equivalency of NCEA. The recognition of NCEA in Korea is quite limited. And that's crucial. Often the Korean students look for things such as IB and Cambridge programs, which they get in other parts of the world. And although NCEA is still as relevant, it's not recognised, and a bit of work needs to be done around that. So just a summary of how things went over there. We found it, more positive than it has been. So obviously, I was there just after the earthquakes, and basically we had to chase after agents to try and get them in the room. But we feel now that they're actually starting to come into the room. They're starting to have those conversations. They're starting to see, what's happening with the economy here now, and that there's good opportunity available in Christchurch. And so, in general, we got quite a good feeling from that. A lot of those agents still aren't in the room, so we need to find ways of getting them in there. And often when they are in the room, they are looking at those flights direct into Auckland, and they're not looking much further than that. So a bit of work needs to be done around that as well. It's crucial, I think, for us. The ENZ events, the Kapahaka group, absolutely amazing, and the collaboration between the Korean and New Zealand cultures and their performance was just amazing. Having Councillor Jones there as well was also had a great impact, although the Auckland providers weren't quite so happy that you were there.
We scored a very good spot in one of the sessions where we played a phenomenally amazing promotional video of Christchurch, and I tell you what, you could have cut the air with a knife in that room.
Yeah,
so it was great.
They weren't so happy, but those of us there from Canterbury absolutely loved that. And it is crucial that we work together, education and City Council, to have an impact in these places, and so that we can really showcase what we've got. Anyway, so that's probably enough from me.
Yes, Carl really hasn't left a lot for me to say, but I would just like to thank the City Council for the support that you gave us. I think the most fantastic thing about this whole event was that we had so many sectors from Christchurch and Canterbury that were represented in Seoul. We made a huge impact in the media, a huge impact with our education agents, and as Councillor Jones said, that video went down really well with our agents in Seoul, and there were agents there from other parts of South Korea as well. They are incredibly important to us in raising the number of students, and I think we are going in the right direction with export education. We have now this year achieved 9% of the market share in New Zealand. Last year we were 8%, so we're going in the right direction. It's these types of events are incredibly important to us to get back to pre-earthquake levels. At CPIT, we have gone past this year with the numbers of students that we had in 2010, so we're incredibly excited about that, and that's going to make a huge economic impact on the city. So thank you very much for your support. It's really much appreciated, and it was great to have Councillor Jones there. It made a big difference. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Phil.
Thank you. We are ripping through this, I promise.
We're noticing
one
that.
of the school groups who were represented was Horswell School, and Penny O'Connell, who's their international director, is here today, and we have one of our students, Kaylin McVicker, who's going to come forward and address the council.
Welcome.
Hello and angan hasio. My name is Kaylin McVicker and I am a student from Horswell School. My incredible journey began like this. At school we were asked who would like to be a part of visiting China and Korea. I thought it would be an amazing experience to be part of. So 13 of us set to work cleaning the school for this board of trustees. In return, they paid for our trip. On the 21st of September, touchdown China, Shanghai to Qingdao, then to Beijing. My memories are the homestays, performing in 5 schools, and of course the palaces and the Great Wall. 10 days later, farewell to China and hello Korea. The people were so lovely, the food was great, and the sightseeing was astonishing. And Lottie World, the best. I've hosted many Korean students, and now it was my turn to see what Korea had to offer. I loved my homestay. They were so nice, and they really looked out for me. I enjoyed wearing the traditional hanbok and visiting the music performance school. I was even on TV. Then came the performance at the opening ceremony of the Bok Jae Festival. All the bright lights and the huge crowd. We were on. Proudly, we started with the national anthem, then Po Kari Kariana. Arirang was really special. And then our final haka was stunning. What a wonderful end to our amazing adventure. Thank you to all who made this possible.
Thank you very much indeed.
I do remember, sorry, yes, around the floor, I remember seeing the students on stage at the Bok Jae Festival, and as they are up here, and they were wonderful, very moving, and you led that, I think, very well. Another group of students who went at the same time was a group called the Global Student Tour, and they were students from Cobham and Casebrook. Today we have 3 representatives from Cobham: Melissa Hyrick, who's the International Director, Lily Campbell-Tay, who was a member of the tour, and Helen Kim, who is an international student studying in Korea at Cobham. We also have people from Casebrook Intermediate, represented by Tracy Golden, Thomas Blakey and Madeline McPherson, and Thomas and Madeline are going to come forward and address you. Okay. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Madeline,
Hello, I'm Thomas.
and we're from Casebrook Intermediate. We'd first like to thank the City Council for funding part of our trip, and also Christchurch Educated for giving us the very fashionable t-shirts we could sport around in Korea and China.
We thought it was a really cool experience and we loved it.
Whoa, cool.
It was quite good, like a very good experience, and like performing in front of the amount of people we did at the Bok Jae Festival, and just meeting all the people, and all the Koreans and like Chinese people were very, very nice to all the white people. They're very fond of our skin and height.
I enjoyed all of the places we went, the Great Wall, Forbidden City, and all the places in Korea. And I thought it was a really cool opportunity and I would do it again.
The homestays were very nice. You felt very welcome and warm into their home, and just in the little city there. And yeah, the school was very welcoming to us as well, and all the classrooms, all the teachers, very kind, showing us around, giving us little traditional shoes to wear around the school, like little slippers, and going all the places we did with our homestays, and to the markets. We dressed up in traditional clothes and had the traditional lunches, walking around with them. Very, very good experience.
Thank you
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed.
That's the end of the formal speeches. I would just like to say, if I may, that it was a real pleasure to be part of this delegation, and it was an honour to be accompanied by Councillor Jones, who worked tirelessly during her time there. I'm always amazed by how much representatives of the city take on board when they're on these kind of visits. I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot about planter pots and shade and walking through the 85th story of an unfinished building, which was something that was pretty scary for all of us. I would also like to acknowledge the help of the New Zealand Embassy, Education New Zealand, and of course the Songpagu City Council, who looked after us remarkably well. Just on one little last note, if I may, sitting behind us at the Bakjay Festival were representatives from Berlin, Germany, who are hoping to enhance their sister city relationship with Songpa. And I had an email, and Sue would have had one too this morning, asking if we can get in touch and talk to them about how we run such successful programs, and especially such successful student exchange programs. So I really do think we do things here in New Zealand really well. And I think it's a credit to the people who work in schools, the support of places like the Songpa Sister City Committee, and of course the support of our City Council, so thank you very much indeed. I don't know if you have time or wish to ask any questions of anyone.
They may wish to, but actually,
no time.
Instead of 10 minutes, it's gone 30, and it's been it's been lovely. But I might just get on to the council agenda.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you
really
very much, and
it.
thank you to all of the people who came in with you, indeed.
Vicky, I just want to thank Phil very quickly, because seriously, I think somewhere there is a stunt double, because I don't know how he manages to do the stuff he does as a principal, you know, the work he does with the Sister City Committee, and especially with the Korean connections as well. So thank you, Phil, and of course Insun, who was our translator the whole time we were there, which was extremely helpful. Otherwise, I'd have very little idea of what was going on. Thank you.
Well, we'd like to thank you all, actually, and thank you for taking the time to come in and explain what you did and bringing everybody. That was great. Thank you very much indeed, guys. Thanks, Ellie. Right.